Welcome to another GoldMine 101, our regular series of short presentations giving you hints and tips for getting the most out of GoldMine CRM. And in this session, I'm going to cover email merging, the email merge feature in GoldMine. So welcome to another GoldMine 101, our regular series of short presentations giving you hints and tips for getting the most out of GoldMine CRM. And yes, email merging in GoldMine, a really useful way and an easy way, a quick way, if you want to get a simple message out to your customers via email. But it's important to be aware of the pros and cons of this feature, and that's what I'm going to cover in this little demo. So, hello again, my name is Tim Wilmot, and my company Wizard Systems, we are a specialist CRM systems provider. Mainly working with small and mid-sized organizations, improving their sales productivity, marketing, and customer service through the use of simple and affordable software solutions like GoldMine. Now, this little demo will be only about 10 minutes or so in duration, just really going over this whole email merging area. It can get quite involved. And I'm not going to cover, this is just simple email merging. I'm not covering email marketing, campaign management. There are other add-on applications that we supply, and we've covered those in other 101 sessions, like IntelliClick, Constant Contact, and the like. So please refer to those. We will be covering them again in our normal cycle of events, but this is just purely simple email merging. Now, the audio part of this call is one way only, those of you listening live. If you've got any questions, please pop those into the question box on your meeting control panel. I'll do my best to answer those at the end. Also at the end, I will give you an update on some GoldMine news that we've got for you, just to keep you up to date of latest GoldMine versions and the like. And this call will be posted as a recording up on our YouTube channel as well, where you will find loads more other videos, short videos up there giving you hints and tips around GoldMine. So a brief mention about Wizard Systems. We are a long-established provider of GoldMine and other leading CRM solutions. We provide the complete service around GoldMine, the product, upgrades, implementation, integrations with other applications. We also supply a number of very popular add-on applications that extend GoldMine even further. We provide any kind of training you want as well around GoldMine, and all the ongoing help desk support as well. Okay, so let's get into email merging in GoldMine. So go to email templates here, create a new one. And first of all, we will give it a title. I'm just putting in there a very simple text title. And then we have the message body itself. This is where you can merge in fields from the contact record. Useful when you are sending out one email to multiple contacts. You can personalize that email as you might expect with information from that contact record in GoldMine. So I've clicked with my cursor into the message body. We go to our insert field button, and that's where we can merge in all of these different fields, different common fields from the GoldMine database. So let's start off by putting in some kind of a salutation, dear or hi or whatever the format might be. And then from that insert field button, we select dear. Okay, so that's going to pop in the dear field as you've defined in your GoldMine contact record. Then we might come down and type in the message. Whatever that might be. And then to end the email off, you may put in your contact details. Typically, that's done with a signature file in GoldMine. So separately to this, you would have defined your signature file. If you're emailing already from GoldMine, you'll be fully aware of this capability to create normally an HTML signature file, which will put in your contact details, your name, your job title, maybe your mobile number and so on. Or you could just manually type it in here, just below the message. You could perhaps manually type in a sort of fixed signature file there. I'm going to select it from that drop-down list. Notice these fields are enclosed with chevrons. I then save that template, and then I'm now ready to send that out to my contacts. Now, you can do this in a number of ways. Typically, you would have created a filter or a group beforehand. So you could go to the contact search center and type in some kind of search phrase to find the contacts that you want to mail to. And those contacts there, you could tag them as well if you want to further define or drill down on your search. But right at the top of the contact search center, there's my merge field and email merge. You can also do an email merge from that document that you created. So I can right click over it and select merge. You've also got one of the buttons up here will actually do it for you as well. And this will take you through just a very simple dialog box here, just a simple form to select the contacts that you want to go to. So, recipient, who is this email going to go to? This is where you'll have a drop-down list of all of your previously created filters and groups, and also being able to access other users' filters and groups as well, if you've got access to those. So you could select that from that drop-down list there. So maybe I've got a filter called builders. This is going to go out to all of the builders. Next, you have this concept in GoldMine of primary and additional contacts. So primary contacts are those people typically you will see in the top half of your screen in GoldMine, and additional contacts are those maybe more miscellaneous contacts on the additional contacts tab. You can also limit your mailing to a particular email merge code. If you use those, it's there. If you don't worry, not absolutely required for simple mailings, but it's there as a further refinement to drill down a little bit further on the sort of contacts that you're mailing to. Delivery, is it going to go right away, or are you going to queue it for delivery? So it will just be in your outbox ready for sending, and then you maybe if you want to do a further sanity check there, you can check them before clicking on the send all button. Finally, you've got this file in history tab here where you can define what information goes into the history. So everything is going to be logged in GoldMine on the history tab of those contact records. You may not want to have the template text in history. This would be, to uncheck that would be a good idea if you're doing this on a regular basis. We have heard of stories where some GoldMine users have checked that box. I believe it might be checked by default, but they've been merrily mailing umpteen people over the years, and eventually the history gets quite bloated and it might slow down your GoldMine system. You don't want, if you're sending out loads and loads of messages over time, you don't want to unnecessarily duplicate all of that information. It might be it might just suffice that you've just got that basic history record in there. Don't worry about the dbase expression. That is very rarely used, but that's where you can overwrite what goes into history with some kind of dbase expression. So there you are. That's all you do. You select, you confirm your delivery options, click OK. I'm not going to, but that will now send out all of those emails, and we'll track it there in history for you as an email out. So that's all there is to it. As long as you know how to compose a very simple GoldMine email template, and you are familiar with creating lists in GoldMine, creating a filter or a group, you're putting the two together, that is a very simple email merge. But it'll be useful to be aware of the pluses and minuses of this email merge feature. So looking on the positive side, it's very quick and very easy to use, as long as you're logged into GoldMine. Very quick and easy to use. All of the emails will be logged, of course, in the history in GoldMine. And if you keep your message very simple, I mean, a lot of these emails that you can create can also be defined as an HTML template. So think of your emails that you're going to send out as either pure, just simple text, very simple email, no fancy formatting, no images, no tracking codes. They are probably more likely to get through any spam filters and be unlikely to identify you as a spammer. So be careful with that. It does enable you to create a really simple text message and not like this when you're starting to verge into fancy HTML, which you can do if you want to, but would normally be the preserve of something like if you were using IntelliClick or Constant Contact with GoldMine. They are the solutions that you would use for producing a more graphically, a more visually appealing email rather than simple text. So on the negative side, well, there's the big one is there's no tracking of the responses to that email in GoldMine. So all you will have is in history the fact that you sent that email out. You won't know whether the email was received. You won't know whether they opened the email. You won't know whether they clicked on any link in the email. There's no tracking of that. That may not be important to you if you're just sending out a message to contacts that you know about. Maybe they're expecting to get your email and it's just a simple message. You don't need that tracking. You don't need to have any stats or fancy dashboards showing the responses to that. The other thing is that you've got to be careful of the volumes of emails that you send out as well. And this is really down to avoiding you being identified, your company, your server being identified as a spammer and the email inadvertently going into junk or spam. So keep your volumes low. You might want to, if you've got a large number to send out, you might want to split up your filter or group and do the mailing in chunks. The limit, or possibly the daily limit of this exercise, will differ. But as a rule of thumb, it may be less than 100 or 200 emails in one go, in one process. It may be lower. You need to check with your email provider, and you need to check with Google or Microsoft, depending on what application you're on, as regards what that limit might be. So keep them low, keep the volumes really low, keep the messages simple, and you should be okay. There is a way of, rather than your emails going out through your own company server, you can also subscribe to relay services. So there is a good one here called SMTP.com. So you can subscribe to these people. We've got no affiliation to these people, by the way, Wizard Systems. So SMTP.com, and there may be others around, but we are aware of these and we've used them for a number of years. So this is where you are subscribing to a plan and you get so many emails per month, but they will give you the connection details for you to send your emails. So whatever details you get from smtp.com, you put that into GoldMine as an email account in your options, and you'll be sending out through effectively your emails are being sent out from GoldMine, but being relayed, being sent through smtp.com and not through your company's server. So that's a safer way if you're contemplating doing larger volumes of emailings and you don't want to use Constant Contact, you don't want to use IntelliClick, and you do get some basic reporting back. I'm not sure what the reporting is these days on smtp.com, but you will get some deliverability reporting. You sent out 100 emails and so many were delivered. That sort of basic reporting. So there we are. Simple email merge in GoldMine. Things, what it does, and things to be aware of, the pros and cons of that feature. So if you've got any questions around this, I'd be happy to answer those for you. Pop that into the questions section on your meeting control panel. Ravi is asking, can you put any tracking code or pixel in an email? Right. Well, yes, HTML would allow you to do that, but I'm not an expert on what its deliverability might be as regards spamming that this tracking. Yeah, so it's not like a cookie. I guess what you're describing, it's this pixel, this 1x1 pixel tracking code, which is sometimes used in emailing or on websites or shopping sites. I just think you've got to be careful with that, Ravi, in a sort of mailing exercise, but I'm not an expert on that. But a good question. Thank you. Becky, do we need to use email merge codes? No, you don't. The email merge code is just an optional thing that when you put an email address into GoldMine, you can assign to it one or many codes. The code might be a letter or a couple of letters. And it just further allows you to maybe define the sort of emails that you want to go to that person. So maybe you might want to send out technical information to technical people or commercial information to your sales contact. So you could devise some simple email merge code so that when you put in the email address of a technical person, they will, in the mailing process, you would just be sending them the technical stuff, but you wouldn't be sending them any commercial stuff. So it's more, I guess, down to the preference. But if you don't want to get that involved, if you want to keep it simple, don't bother with email merge codes. Okay, I don't think there's any more questions coming through. Let me just give you an update on GoldMine news. The latest GoldMine version, 2022, and it's hotfix number 3 with a few numbers after it. This came out in August. These hotfixes do come out every couple of months or so. Go up to our GoldMine blog and you'll see the full information about that. The latest releases of GoldMine have implemented the new email security, the OAuth 2. And right now, Google and Microsoft are deploying this across their email systems. So if you're running an old GoldMine system and you're doing emailing, and this is very pertinent to this event, this call, make sure you're on a later release of GoldMine, and we can assist you. The only way of getting GoldMine updates is to make sure you have a maintenance contract, an annual GoldMine maintenance contract. You can get that from us. And if you're out of maintenance right now, there are some special offers around through to the end of September to get you back on board with the latest version. And that will, amongst others, it will also help you comply with this OAuth email security, which does help you, and everything is becoming more secure now. And likewise, that's the case with GoldMine. So make sure you're on that latest release there, and there are some special offers to be had. So that's it for email merging in GoldMine. If you've got any other suggestions for future topics, please email them to me, tim@wizard-systems.com. Be happy to hear from you. There's our other contact details, including our YouTube channel there as well, where there's well over 100 other GoldMine videos for you. Thanks very much, and we'll catch up with you on the next session. Bye-bye.